Folks, very, very special edition of College Sports Now coming at you for the next, we'll call it hour and a half. I'm going to do my best to try to keep this moving, but we got a lot to get to, and we got a lot of talking heads, and everybody needs their airtime. I only got one ball, okay? Only got one ball. We got to share. We got to distribute. We got to share the rock today. Roddy Jones is here, ABC, ESPN, ACC Network, Sirius XM. He's in his usual early week spot. Roddy, great to see you. Great to hear you.
It's good to be seen, good to be heard.
We also got Wayne Cook. We got the quarterback with us. He's getting up early on the West Coast to be with us, to talk ball, to chop it up with his guys. Wayne, good morning. It's early out there. Thank you for getting up with us.
It's like Christmas morning. I get to be on with you guys. I mean, are you kidding me? I popped out of bed this morning.
Yeah, I love that.
Go.
We also have
go.
Trip Hurd, a.k.a. the Lock Doctor, who has now rebranded himself as Lock Dizzle. Trip, happy Thanksgiving week. How we feeling?
I'm great, man. Glad to be here.
Good.
I just woke up too, and so good on you, Wayne, man. 3 hours. Jeez.
I got a tea time after this. Come on. It's
Wayne,
busy day.
Wayne would do the show 8 days a week if we let him. Don't kid yourself. In June, this guy's hitting me up wanting to talk football.
We should be talking football in June.
We should. Everyone else does. We're the only ones that don't.
Yeah, we should go year round.
Are you actually playing golf today, Wayne? Are you actually teeing it up?
No, I am, and it's golf. It's football season rustiness for sure. I'm in trouble. I haven't touched my clubs in a couple weeks, so
I already got the built-in excuses.
Yeah.
All right, so
no. I'll probably shoot 78, but we'll see what happens.
Sure. Must
Roll
be
out
nice.
of bed, shoot 78. Let's go, Wayne.
So I want to just kind of set the table because it is Thanksgiving week. There'll be a lot of food puns on the show today. I would like to set the table with what it is that we're going to try, emphasis on try, to accomplish during today's program. There will be Week 12 takeaways. Best thing, worst thing that shocked you. Wayne has been given the heads up. He knows how we roll here on the Tuesday show. Allegedly, he's done his homework. In typical Wayne fashion, he has not put anything on the Google Doc, but that's okay. I trust that he's gotten it done.
You're not the only one, Wayne.
Yes, you're not the only one. The hashtag talent. You guys just roll in here, hit up craft service table outside, and then just talk ball.
We know ball. We don't have to write it down on paper. It's all right here.
Rodstradamus will visit at the end of the show. Rodstra did have a winning week. Love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
A nice little 5-3 week for Rodstra. Nice. He still has work to do. He's 10 games below 500 for the season.
Whoa. Let's not bring me down while you're building me up at the same time.
I'm just saying, let's keep it going with the winners. Like, we want more winners. That's all I'm saying. And we have a very special edition of As the World Turns in Tallahassee, Florida, because we've gotten some closure on that situation down there. It'll be the final As the World Turns.
Do we have to? Because,
yes.
I mean,
I want to hear Tripp's official stance on bringing Mike Norvell back.
It hit off the guy's helmet and went back to the punter, and then the guy dropped the next punt. I feel like Florida State is approaching Syracuse territory where we just cancel the program. I mean, we're done here.
Well, poor special teams have gotten coaches fired before. See Jeff Collins. Okay, it's happened. All right, but apparently it's not bad enough for Mike Norvell to go. So we will get Tripp's.
You've been waiting on that one. The Jeff Collins joke. You've been waiting on that one.
We will get. Listen,
Mike's a good guy.
You know what? Like Roddy, you're taking shots early. I want you to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You are in a safe place. You are in a nest.
Hey, come on. It was a rough weekend for Roddy.
You are in a nest, in a tree of trust. You are surrounded with your friends. This is a judge-free zone. We care about you, Roddy. Is there anything that you would like to share with us, with your audience, in the wake of spotting Pitt 28 points last Saturday night on the flats?
No, not really. You guys, we do this show every week, so you guys know exactly how I felt about Georgia Tech. I thought they were going to lose to Duke weeks ago. I thought that this was a team that was playing with fire, and if you play with fire long enough, you get burned. The defense stinks, and the defense stunk, and then all of a sudden it got really good. But that was when Pitt was up 28-0. So, I mean, I don't. Am I upset? I'm not upset. I'm not surprised. Am I disappointed? Yeah, because you had literally everything in front of you, and all you had to do was beat Pitt at home in one of the most raucous environments Bobby Dodd has seen in 2 decades. And you couldn't do it. as Coach 30 would say, you piss down your leg and you end up on your knees asking God for help, just like your mama did when she was out, 15 years ago. It's like the Coach 30 says, man. That's how it goes.
It's not your fault.
Can I interject here? Because, see, Roddy, this is interesting to me because I've been through this. When you cover and you're a part of a program that teases you every once in a while, that gets you feeling like you got a shot, you beat. No, I'll use my own example. You beat a Utah team and a Washington team back to back. You got a chance at a conference championship, and then you lose to one of the Arizona schools, and everybody goes, "What the heck just happened? Like, how do we blow it?" So you sound a little bit like you built a wall, and you were ready for something to happen.
Yeah, well, yes, two parts.
Because you don't want to get your hopes up too much because.
The first is I know how this movie ends. Like I've seen this with Georgia Tech too often.
You let yourself believe though a little bit. You did you not?
When you're one game away from the ACC championship game, anything can happen in one game. But also, like this is me not being a fan. This is me being an analyst of the game. You watch Georgia Tech and you're like, man, it's dicey. I mean, they're a correct offsides call against Wake Forest away from losing that game. Duke was inside the 10-yard line 3 times in the first 35 minutes of the game, and the score off of those 3 possessions was Duke 3, Georgia Tech 7. Duke was on offense inside the 10-yard line 3 times. And the possession and the score coming out of those possessions was Georgia Tech ahead by 4 because Duke fumbled the ball. Georgia Tech returns it for a touchdown. They had to kick a field goal once and they missed a field goal another time. Like that, when you go through situations like that, when you go through scenarios where Georgia Tech is kind of playing with fire, and then you look at the schedule and it's like, that Clemson win doesn't age all that well. Right. Clemson's not a good team. Yeah. Wake Forest ended up being good, but like who else on that schedule is good? So, and the closeness of the games, the way the games went, the way the defense was playing, I knew that when the better teams came, Georgia Tech was not going to be able to do that. Did I think it was going to come via 2 Haynes King interceptions? No, didn't see that one coming. But am I surprised? No. And it still has a chance to be a good year. But if they lose to Georgia and lose the bowl game, like 3 straight losses is not going to feel great.
And Roddy, what the beauty of what happens around the country is, you just said it. Everybody just goes, "Oh, but they've got Haynes King." See, people forget sometimes that when you have that guy, that sometimes if that guy doesn't do well, the other guys need to step up and win a game for you.
And Wayne, that offense has been so dependent on Haynes King.
Oh yeah,
like everyone has touted the yardage that he's put up, but he's had to. There hasn't been consistent traditional run game from the running backs. There's not as much like, hey, we're just going to bludgeon you up front like they did last year and have Jamal Haynes go off. Malachi Hosley's been good. The receiver play has been inconsistent at best. Like Eric Rivers has not been Eric Singleton. Malik Rutherford has been decent, but he's not an A1. He's not a number 1 guy. And the guy who they need to be the number 1 guy, Isaiah Canyon, is pretty inconsistent. Catching the deep ball with contested catch. He's insanely talented, but like just inconsistent. And so Haynes has had to bear the burden. Right. He's had to spread the ball around to the tight ends. And like I said it last week, Pitt got a lot of mileage out of the tight ends against Pitt. I'm sorry, Notre Dame got a lot of mileage out of the tight ends against Pitt. Well, they sealed that door. They shut that door. And we're like, hey, the tight ends aren't going to beat us. You're going to have to beat us deep. Georgia Tech just wasn't able to do it. Yeah. Pitt had 12 big plays in the first half. Georgia Tech had 2. Like, you can't win like that. And then you turn the ball over twice, one of them a pick 6 when you're going to cut the deficit to 7. It's just losing ball, man. You just can't win that way. And so, am I disappointed? Yeah, but I'm not like torn up over it. It happens.
I had to give you that forum, that opportunity to get that out of the way early. I do this with Wayne all the time because UCLA breaks his heart almost weekly. Wayne,
not lately. You haven't. You shut me down. You said no more.
The moratorium has been put on. I will say this.
I had to agree. Hey, we got a lot of drama. We're like a soap opera out here. We might lose our stadium. We don't know
what's going on with coaching. That, man. Like, isn't the Rose Bowl suing you guys back or something like that?
Well, it's in court. Yeah, it's in court, but I'm telling you, Roddy. I told Steven this. It felt like it was a funeral, not just because the game went south, but everybody there was like, "This is it, last game here." Like, I don't know if it's it. I don't know if it's over, but we start thinking about it. It's such a fun discussion. Do you think young players really know the history of the Rose Bowl and what it means, or do you think they're thinking SoFi would be pretty cool? It's where, it's where the Rams play. It's it's like so.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what this next generation thinks. To be
Has
honest,
UCLA ever not played in the Rose Bowl?
yeah, we
I don't
used to
know
play
the
at the
history of it.
Coliseum years ago, like until
okay.
the early '80s,
Gotcha.
and then we went to the Rose Bowl. Yeah,
Gotcha.
on campus stadium would be amazing, but doesn't ever seem to be a thing.
Is there room for that? Like, could they do it?
Yeah, there is. There's room. There's just neighbors in Bel Air and Beverly. It's like the old school argument that they don't want the traffic, but I'm like, we got 40,000 students at the campus anyway. Like it's a huge campus. We could just put a dang. We have a track. It could work.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it could be done.
It's not your fault, Wayne. It's not your fault either. Okay, just so you
We're
know.
just here to. Hey,
It's not
there's a
your
lot of good stuff going on out there, but there's a lot of crazy stuff going out there, man. Did you guys listen to Kiffin talking about modern day? I know you don't, but he said it.
Roddy,
he flat out said these players don't even care anymore. They don't care about. He said it flat out at a press conference for Ole Miss. They don't care who their coach is. They don't care who they're caring about their check and their. And I was listening to going, oh my gosh, he's saying it out loud.
Roddy, you did 10 hours of talk radio yesterday. You want to give me your informed Kiffin opinion as we head into the Egg Bowl on Friday? Like where we're at, how you feel about all this?
Yeah, the smoke around LSU, both publicly and behind closed doors, is legit. And I don't know why you would wait until after the Egg Bowl to make an announcement if you're coming back. Maybe he truly doesn't know, and maybe he's waiting to win to see how he would feel stepping away from the team for the college football playoff run or leaving this team after a college football playoff run. Maybe that's the case. But if you're going to stay, I don't understand why this would be a post-Egg Bowl thing.
Right.
And if you're unsure, I don't know how that's not true. You could be unsure. But are you going to leave it to an emotion in the moment to make a decision? I know it's a big choice, and I'm not downplaying that at all, but I don't know why you would wait until now and then all of a sudden say, yeah, I'm coming back, guys, don't worry about it, when you could have done that weeks ago and not had the distraction around it. And then if you lose, I think it's really easy. I'm out of here.
Right.
Yeah, well, he's taking the approach almost like his players, they don't even pay attention. He's like, yeah, noise, they don't care. It's like, and it's interesting because it's a real, I just had a coach's show where Tim Skipper told me they don't even, you come in and ask them about Monday Night Football and they're like, they didn't even know who's playing. Like players aren't like we were when we watched games, because that's what was, you watched Monday Night Football. I did every week.
We also didn't have choices at that time.
Well, that's my whole point. They have a million other things they could be doing. Exactly. So he's like, yeah, noise. What noise? They've grown up in the noise era. They're used to it.
By the way, there are now nine Power 4 jobs that are open.
Didn't see
college
Cal.
football.
Didn't see Cal coming.
I mean, it'd be
but
nice if you had an above 500 conference record. Just 1 year, Justin Wilcox. Just 1 year out of 9. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, the 9 years thing, like that. It was probably time.
So Roddy, let me ask you a question. There's to me, when I've always thought Justin Wilcox was a very good coach in a very bad situation. Cal's a tough place to win, and so you get a coach like that. And Steve and I were talking about that before you came on. It's crazy how there's good coaches that are losing their jobs because you have to do your research when you're trying to figure out who you want, because there's so many coaching jobs open. Because there's good coaches that were put in bad situations.
Yeah.
And there's other coaches that I would argue at some point in time that sometimes maybe they win more than they probably should because they're in good situations. We watch them make mistakes, but they have so many good players and so many good athletes that those players overcome their weaknesses.
Yeah. Justin Wilcox is a good coach. I do think he was put in a bad situation, and a bad situation that was made worse when Cal was left out to dry and needed a lifeline, and the ACC threw him one. He will be fine. He will get a job, and I'm sure he'll be a head coach again at some point. I would hire him as my head coach again at some point.
Or D coordinator.
Yeah, definitely as a coordinator. Cal is like Cal got Ron Rivera as the GM. I don't know how well resourced they are. Some of that's like my blind spot of Cal, but I don't think they're a super well-resourced program. So of the ACC West Coast offerings, I think Stanford is an infinitely better job than Cal is right now, because I know what Stanford's got going on behind closed doors, behind the scenes. Stanford is going to be something in the next 5 years. Like, Stanford is going to be legit in the next 5 years or so, because Andrew Luck has changed the way that university thinks about football. And conference realignment has slapped him in the face with the reality of, oh, our decade of negligence to the football program cost us a spot in the Big Ten. We should probably not let that happen again. And they have ponied up. And some of the money that they've raised is very public, but it is a fraction of the total number that I'm hearing that they raised.
Yeah, it's crazy. You've got 3 big-time schools in the state of California, UCLA, Cal, Stanford, all looking for a head coach, along with 6 other Power 4 schools.
I mean, does Tim Skipper have a shot at that job, Wayne?
I like him so much. I don't think he does, but I mean, I hope he's getting an interview. I feel the same way about Terry Smith, and it's like, how uncomfortable is that, by the way, at Penn State, when the players, and we know that when players want a guy, you have to be the adult in the room if you're making the choice, and you can't just give in to what feels right. You have to really make a good decision, because these decisions, I mean, you can't keep going in the wrong direction. You just can't. You fall too far behind. So I love Tim. I don't know if you've ever come across him
Never
in your career, but he's been a joy to work with.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this, Roddy? Because the final weekend of the regular season's coming up. Obviously, we will get to y'all's takes on rivalry week, because this is it's a tremendous week of games. Who else is going to be looking for a head coach once we get to like Sunday morning? You got any takes? You got your ear to the ground?
I don't know. I think if anybody wanted to do it, it'd be done. Like, I don't know why you'd wait until after the last week of the year, and I don't know why you'd leave it up to one game to make that decision. I think if anybody else was going to do it, it would be done. And so,
what about coaches retiring? What about that?
There's a lot of smoke around Dave Doran at NC State possibly retiring. I don't know. He loves this team, so I'm not convinced, having been around him and talked to him in the last month. I mean, I don't know who else would be in the realm of possibility. Like, who? Do you have any ideas? I don't know.
Well,
Wayne,
I just there's so many jobs that have been open for so long, right? Arkansas, UCLA, we saw Virginia Tech get filled. By the way, James Franklin just out here shaking hands, kissing babies. He's in the booth,
crawling into the stands.
I mean, it was awesome. I got to be honest, man. If I was a Virginia Tech fan, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go.
I heard this on social media, and I thought, oh, that's crazy, and then I started to think about it. I'm like, It's not as crazy as you think. Is James Franklin the best coach in the ACC?
Ooh, yeah, it could be.
I would say, Dabo is the one who tops him.
Dabo's still the guy, right?
But in this era, in the last 5 years,
it's a fair point.
Norvell's gone undefeated, bro.
Okay, very good.
Well, and if you think about it, Roddy, if Franklin pulls off, Frank Beamer's a legend, right? I mean, they had very Penn State-ish type seasons. They win 9-10 games a year, compete, have opportunities. I mean, in the ACC is not the same conference.
No, it is not.
Virginia Tech has, I mean, everybody knows what it's like. Even when they've sucked, it's still an awesome place at home to be. I think Franklin won. I think.
Take it easy.
And by the way, sometimes your
you don't
voice
need to be dropping S-bombs on the show like that, Cookie. Come on, man.
Hey, sometimes when your voice just gets tired at a place, like maybe Penn State was it. Maybe he'd maxed out there. You go somewhere else, they're happy to have him, man. That's a win. There's a lot of coaches. I mean, like, how do you feel if you're Nebraska and you're just fighting to hold on to Matt Rule because of the possibility, because they're not good right now. I saw them up close and personal. Their record is way misleading, in my opinion. They're not that good. And they have a quarterback that they think is the next, and I'm like, I don't think he's that good either. And so Matt Rule gets the agents that are winning this offseason. We know that. You get to re-up a contract to keep a guy because he was, maybe going to Penn State. I look at some of this stuff. I'm like, man, this market right now, is insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, Kenny Dillingham just said something the other day, too, that I thought was interesting. He wants to play meaningful games in November. It's something I've been saying forever. We talked about Georgia Tech earlier. You don't want to have years where you're out of it going into November. Kenny Dillingham has fought like crazy to get that team to where they still just have 2 losses after all they've been through. And they're still playing really good football, but he gets it. Like, we may not get it every year, but we're going to be right there. We're going to be sniffing it. And to me, that's a good, realistic college football program.
That should be the goal of everybody. Like, because the sizes of conferences are so big, like the conference championship games aren't going to be decided until late in November. We don't have a single one that's decided going into the last week of the year. And so if you're Kenny Dillingham or James Franklin, whoever, Brent Key, if you are playing meaningful games into late November, the last 2-3 weeks of the season, then you're doing something as a program. You may have, you may be 7-5 at the end of the year, but if you're 7-2 going to the last 3 weeks, then you're in a pretty good spot. Yeah. Then you're just working on the margins. But one more point on James Franklin. I agree with you, Wayne. I think he won. Like, I don't think Virginia Tech is right now a better spot to be than Penn State, but I think it can be built to be a spot that is comparable to Penn State. He is at a place where walking in the door, they are at a low. So walking in the door, he can ask for a lot of stuff that Penn State was probably not willing to give him. Yeah, no, we don't need to do that. Yeah, no, we don't need to. Virginia Tech is desperate, and they have to get good because they see what's coming down the tracks and the possibility of more realignment and being left behind. And so they have to be committed to it. And then the last thing is, once you get these things rolling, like once you've been at a place for 11 years, changing stuff is like turning a cruise ship. Like that, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen to change stuff. And so sometimes, because one decision kind of has unintended consequences and you make another decision with unintended consequences, in some areas you may end up pretty far from where you actually want to be. And those learnings are something that he can go and institute at Virginia Tech right away. Hey, we were doing things like this way at this place. I didn't really love that, but it was really hard to change. And it honestly wasn't worth the effort because it wasn't going to impact us that much. Now I can do it day one at Virginia Tech. I can have it structured differently. I can have our schedule. Like, I can do just from a blank slate. And so I really feel like I don't know what they'll be next year. I think they'll be good because they will get a lot of guys that were recruits to Penn State to come to Virginia Tech, and they will get some Penn State players to come to Virginia Tech. And there's a couple of juniors that are really good that if they don't go pro could end up in Blacksburg. I'm just guessing. But I think in the future, he's going to build this thing not only to be good, but to be sustainable because he's going to recruit well too.
Yeah. So I know we're going to move on here, but I'll add the whole turning around a cruise ship. I can relate. I feel like that sometimes. It's like
you're on the cruise ship right now, Wayne. You're on it.
You think about it. When you hire a coach like Chip Kelly, and wow, has things been weird for him. Talk about a roller coaster the last few years.
Yeah.
And you get close. Like, people don't want to admit it, but DTR senior year at UCLA, we were pretty good. Yeah. We were beating some legitimate teams, and we had a lot of good players that played in the NFL. And then you lose that, and you end up making another hire that did not work, not even close, was the exact opposite. And now that cruise ship is not only you're trying to turn it around, you're trying to make a 3-point turn in the Panama Canal or something. I don't know what's going on. It's hard. And then, so yes, there's a lot of programs that I think that's a great analogy for, but feels like Virginia Tech, what you love about it is when you have a fan base that's still vested.
Yeah.
It really helps because now, and you mentioned Stanford, I thought that was funny because we all know how much money's at Stanford. It's kind of like Indiana when all of a sudden Mark Cuban is around. Like, I didn't even know he was an alum.
Me either.
But that's a pretty darn good alum to have.
I also didn't know that Indiana has the most living alumni of any university in the country. I had no idea.
But if you can find
Google
people,
it,
if you can find people that are willing to invest in your program, and you have one of those programs that's got all that money, you watch out. I've seen Stanford, going back to that, when they're good and when they're doing it right. I watched those Andrew Luck teams up close and personal, and Christian McCaffrey teams up close and personal. They had dudes. Zach
That-
Ertz.
They will be
Oh.
good again.
That
I think so,
sideline
too.
interview with Andrew Luck when they forced the fumble and he
Was
scoops it up
awesome.
and runs down right in
Hilarious.
front of Luck
So good.
was pretty cool. And one of the cooler things I saw from the weekend. And with that, we seamlessly segue into Week 13 takeaways. Lock Dizzle, this is your segment to anchor. But again, Wayne, we gave you homework. Best thing you saw, worst thing you saw, thing that shocked you. And no, you cannot say the UCLA fake field goal against Washington shocked you because that was one of the worst fake
By
field
the way,
goals
I
I've
got
ever
an
seen in my
answer.
life.
I got an answer from that. Our tight end called the play off, and they ran it anyway.
Oh,
Because I asked the coach. I said, Coach, I said the look was terrible. I don't know if you guys saw the play, but the guy came out, even if it was a good pitch, even if it was a good pitch, I mean, I was like, so the guy that was supposed to say punt it or kick it said that, but I guess it didn't get relayed, which is another example of a bad football team. But it was unbelievable.
Also, kicker, be an athlete and dive on the ball.
Yeah, something.
Get on the football. Try.
Something.
Push them. Pull them. Something.
Tough scene. All right, Lock Dizzle, anchor this bad boy. What you got for us? Walk us through it.
We'll save the worst for last. We'll start with the best. And speaking of athletic kickers, best thing I saw all week, Todd Polino for Duke. You want to hear a stat line? This guy, 1 carry for 26 yards.
I've got the sound, by the way, if you want it.
1 for 1 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points. And Hartzell, you got the clip here?
I got the clip. Yes, sound, please.
From just inside 45. Curtis Cooper, the holder. Cade Reynoldsson the holder. Curtis Cooper will snap it. See if Polino can get it done on the road. The right-footed kicker. Good snap. Good hold. It's a fake. Polino to the left. 25-20. Down the sideline. Into the end zone. Oh, they say out of bounds at the 1. And it'll be first and goal. My goodness, what a call. How about that in a rivalry game on the road?
So good.
Good call, shoemate.
Best
Good
voice
call,
in all
man.
of America.
It's our guy.
David
It's our
Shoemate.
guy.
Our
Blue
guy.
Devil Sports Network from Learfield on the audio. Yes,
Kicker
very
should have
nice.
scored. He should have scored. Like, be an athlete. Again, be an athlete. Like, you made the
26
offensive
yards.
lineman.
He's lucky he didn't pull a hammy.
He made the offensive linemen who have been out there for how many plays, Wayne? Probably 80 plays over the course of that game. Those offensive linemen are taking hits. He made him play 1 or 2 more plays because he didn't want to be tough and get in the end zone. It's selfish, is what
It is. It is selfish.
Like, you go be on a football field, get your ass in the end zone so we don't have to play another snap.
By the way, that is one clip of several that you'll hear throughout the show. I got some nuggets, man. I've got some surprises for you guys a little bit later in the program. If you liked that, you're going to love what's coming up in about, 20, 30 minutes. But that was the best thing you saw, Trip, the fake field goal.
Best thing I saw. What about you, Hartzell?
Best thing I saw, and I'll tee you up right here, Roddy Jones. Best thing I saw was my Vandy boys putting on a show
Your Vandy boys.
for one of their fiercest critics.
No, don't
Yep.
you do that to me.
Roddy,
do that
all
to me.
year you've been like, chill with the Vandy takes, chill with the Vandy love, pump the brakes. You saw it firsthand. You and Mark Jones were calling the game for Vandy opened up a can against Kentucky on Saturday. What did you make of them boys?
I would like it to be noted, and our loyal listeners know this. The reason that I have to have you pump the brakes on the Vandy takes is because you were touting them as like a national championship contender after week 2.
Still in the mix.
You were saying Diego Pavia was going to win like the Heisman Trophy.
He's going to New York. He's going.
According to Clark Lee, he should win the Heisman. Yes.
That was the reason for pumping the brakes. I have said all year long, I think Vandy's good. They have gotten better than they were early on the last few weeks because they can throw the ball and reliably and really well now. And that was not always the case. Now, the defense still has a little bit of work to do, but they were great against Kentucky. Now, the last 2 games before that, particularly Auburn, that was a tough one for Vandy's defense. But, it's a really good team. And if you were to say, hey, look, I think this team is better than Miami, we were having this discussion amongst our crew. Who's better, Vandy or Miami? I think Miami is better. But I've seen Miami enough times to have seen Miami when they weren't better. I mean, I saw them against SMU. I saw them against Stanford. They were not better than Vandy on those days. I've only seen Vandy once. Although going back and watching them all year long, like I mean, they don't beat the really good teams, and so would they beat a Miami? I don't know, but this is a good team, man. And I have to say, the thing that was really sort of swung me your way, Steven, to the Vandy side, Clark Lee.
Told you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard him speak before. I've heard him, I've heard his press conferences. I've heard him on game day. I've heard him.
And then you sat down with him.
Then I sat down with him and I was ready to play for that dude.
Yeah,
it's a different vibe in person. Like it's.
Yes.
I am a big fan.
Just to add, I don't know if you know this, Roddy, but Clark Lee was at UCLA at one point.
I did not know that.
A lot. He was with Neuheisel when he was our coach, Rick.
Oh yeah.
So and Clark, and again, Matt Rule was at UCLA at one point.
Like how you had to clarify which Neuheisel, by the way.
I did.
You got to do that these days. Talking about UCLA football.
I did. So this is what's interesting about this topic, because I like Clark Lee a lot too. I'm a Heisman voter, so trust me, this year I have no clue what my
Jeremiah
order
Love,
is.
Wayne. Just
well,
do it.
I love
Jeremiah
first of all, I love Jeremiah Love.
None of those other dudes are
if you
Heisman
listen,
winners. I'm
But
sorry.
he's a running back.
And you know what's crazy though, Roddy, is that I'm a huge. I mean, I'm just. Steven knows this. I'm enamored with Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. I don't care. I get the whole Miami Notre Dame argument, but like, there's something about him, and every time I listen to him talk about football. You mentioned Clark Lee. I want to play for Clark Lee. I want to play for Marcus Freeman. I want to play for those guys. Those guys they found a way to be coaches in this era and still be great coaches that are raising men the right way. Yeah. And I love it. So anyway, I want to go back to the machine that is the SEC. How is it? Because you saw Kentucky up close and personal. Why you're going to hear? Well, that was a good win. Kentucky's a solid team. Texas, that was a good win because, Arkansas is a solid team. Arkansas is 2-9.
Yeah, Arkansas.
They're a crappy team.
Could be
They're
9-2 though, Wayne.
Bull crap.
Could be 9-2. This
yeah,
close.
But I am so over the bad teams in the SEC, but they've got talent. I'm like, they suck. They lose. I mean, 2-9 is horrible. I don't know what Kentucky is. Every once in a while, they'll show a glimmer of being a decent team, but they're not a good team.
Eligible. Yeah. Arkansas is I think the outlier in this. Like, I do think Arkansas has more talent than their record, but eventually you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
I think, but they have a quarterback. The thing is that quarterback does turn the ball over, but they've got a quarterback. They got a couple running backs that are good. They've got a receiver that's good. Like, you look at it and you're like, okay, there's some pieces. The defense is terrible, and the defense has been terrible. Kentucky's interesting, man, because the offense is really what has been iffy for them all year. And if they can't run the ball, then you've got trouble because Cutter Boley's limited. But they play a close game against Texas, and everybody kind of believes that they're turning things around. They got boat raced by Tennessee. They played a close game against Auburn, an Auburn team that's not very good, and then the Tennessee Tech game. So I am not there on Kentucky. Nope. I am more willing to stand up for Arkansas, who's 0-7 in the SEC, than I am Kentucky, South Carolina, Auburn.
It's
Florida.
the same thing with Penn State, Roddy. Like, they're winning now because they still have really good talent.
Yeah.
They're better than
they're playing the bottom
was.
of the Big Ten finally. Like, they were playing the middle
right.
Big Ten and a hot UCLA team. But
South Carolina favored this week, by the way. All right.
Against Clemson?
We're still on best thing you saw all weekend. Roddy, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'll give the ACC some love since you guys apparently are ACC haters. I want to focus on the negative.
An ACC kicker was the best thing I saw all week.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I'm going to go SMU. SMU is the best thing I saw all weekend because SMU absolutely boat racing Louisville and controlling its own destiny in the ACC. And boys, may I pose to you the fact that SMU now controls its own destiny to be the ACC's representative in the college football playoff and be in the college football playoff for the second year in a row out of the ACC. Which
really? Wow.
I have said, yeah, I mean, they can win. If they win against Cal, they're in the ACC championship game. And if they win the ACC championship game, they're in. I have said is an indictment on the league and is not a good look for the league because you got a team just join and they have now gone 8-0 in your conference and lose in the championship game and could potentially go 7-1 in your conference and win the championship game. 2 losses in 2 years, as good as SMU is. And I think Rhett Lashley has done a phenomenal job. a team from the American shouldn't come in and run your league. Like, it just shouldn't happen. But
It's interesting, Roddy, because you and I had a conversation about TJ Harden before the season. It was a transfer from UCLA.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been great numbers every week, but he's done
really a nice job,
valuable.
man.
He's been really valuable. He was crucial in the overtime win they had at the end. He had 90, I think, last week.
Sure did.
Rushing. He's been a very valuable, because I don't think SMU runs the ball spectacularly well. But
he gives them tough yardage.
They use it, and they need him because he's a big back that can get those tough yards.
Yeah. I think it's you, Wayne. You're up. Best thing you saw.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Oregon. And I know this is an easy one, and yes, I'm going to my old Pac-12 days, but I'm really happy for Dante Moore. I watched what he went through at UCLA. It was kind of a pick-six machine. He was thrust onto the scene as a talented high school recruit, and probably played before he was ready. And he goes and sits at Oregon, and I hope, and for a while, Oregon was one of those teams. I love that you said that Vandy's gotten better. I think Oregon's gotten better. Oregon earlier in the year, that Penn State game doesn't look as good, in retrospect, that they had to go to overtime to win. But if you go back to the Iowa game, Dante in horrible weather had a throw, if you remember the one down the sidelines in that game, that was unbelievable, that led to that victory. They played a Minnesota team and handled them. And then USC comes to town with all the talent that SC has, and Oregon showed up. Dan Lanning's got this team playing really, really good football, and they've got a quarterback that's growing up in front of our eyes and getting better and better and better, and he's showing that it can be good when it matters. Doesn't mean he's not perfect. He had an interception in the game, but him along with Oregon are playing really, really good football. And I don't know if people are talking about him as much as maybe they should when you get past, A&M and Indiana and Ohio State. Oregon's right there. And I'm really a big fan of Dante Moore and what he's doing.
How confident are you that they win this week?
Watch out. Yeah, I was going to say, watch out in Seattle this weekend.
I just watched Washington. And I put Washington in that category of teams that they were flirting with a playoff opportunity until they got their third loss. They're not as good as the score. Washington's not. Against UCLA's defense played pretty good in the first half. It was only 20-0, and we gave them 2 short fields with turnovers. It wasn't like Damon Williams, who I really do like. He didn't look ultra crisp throwing the ball in the first half. His legs, he got a touchdown. He's really good, but I think Oregon's a better team. Mm-hmm. But it's in Seattle. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you guys, I don't know if you guys have been there. They hate each other. And I played there in the early 90s when Washington was absolutely rolling, and that place gets loud. It's a stadium that you're there. It can get crazy, and who knows what the weather's going to be. So I give Washington a fighting chance, but Oregon's a better team.
Huskies lock. All right, let's go to something that shocked you from the past weekend in college football, and I'll start us off here. A little more love for the ACC with Syracuse. I think this is getting overlooked. Syracuse hung tough for the better part of about 8 minutes against Notre Dame. Notre Dame had an interception return just under a minute into the game. Then they returned a punt for a touchdown at the 12-19 mark. And I don't really think the game was put away until the second interception return at the 9:50 mark. If you really want to go to the first time Notre Dame actually got the ball in offensive possession, that was their 4th score of the game at the 6:32 mark. So really, I don't think we're giving enough love to Syracuse, who played Notre Dame fairly tough for about 8 minutes. And if you ask me, give me Miami over Notre Dame any day of the week. If you can only put Syracuse away by 63, we really want that in the playoff?
Oh, brother.
Miami's not worried about style points, Give me the Canes.
Miami was throwing with less than a minute to go. They put 7 more on the board against the Hokies.
With 20 seconds left on a 4th and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't even need to. I mean, they weren't going to cover. They could, if they wanted to cover, they would have went for 2 at the end.
Great teams cover. You're right. I mean, great teams cover. Notre Dame did that with ease. I wonder if Steve Angeli hadn't gotten hurt, how much people would be talking about Fran Brown in terms of this coaching carousel.
A big deal.
But unfortunately,
hey Hartzell,
he won 10 games last year, so it buys you some
yeah.
time. But
I'm
Notre
just saying,
Dame,
if he had done it again, like he would have been a hotter commodity than he is right now. People aren't talking about him.
if Steve Angeli hadn't gotten hurt, the bottom would have fallen out just like it did. Not quite as bad, but you don't get beat 70-7 because your quarterback's injured. Like, this is a bad football team, and that's on Fran Brown. They had a quarterback that was able to mask a lot of stuff against the bad teams, but eventually, like, it was going to catch up. And there's been a lot of teams that Notre Dame has played through the years, and I'm talking about since like the 60s, and none of them have gotten beat 70-7. Notre Dame was up 70-0 with 6 seconds left in the game. 6 seconds left in the game when Syracuse scored its only touchdown of the game. Yeah. So, like,
yeah, I had Notre Dame.
I had Notre Dame. Different view of that game.
I had Notre Dame live minus 67. I lost. I mean, that's just a bad beat. That's a bad beat.
Hey, Hartzell, you've done this show with me for a long time. I used to get so mad at things like teams scoring late and not taking a knee and there's no sportsmanship. It doesn't even faze me anymore.
I love that.
Run it up. I just doesn't even faze me because points matter. You see, people look at all this stuff.
Notre Dame tried to not.
Oh, I know.
They tried. They couldn't not score. CJ Carr, the starting quarterback for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, was 5 of 9 for 49 yards, and they won by 63 points.
I love CJ Carr.
Oh, you want some stats? I'll give you some stats. The thing that shocked me from Saturday, Utah, Kansas State, 51-47 was the final score. You had Chris Kleiman crying at the podium after Kansas State blew a 10-point lead with 3 minutes to play. Joe Jackson, running back for the Cats.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson.
Carries, 293 and 3 tuds. Those are Roddy Jones numbers. No. Those are Roddy Jones numbers circa 2008. I mean, just a casual 15 yards per carry. Kansas State ran for almost 500 yards as a team and lost.
So this is the game, though. Think about it. Utah is still one of those teams fighting.
Yes.
This win hurts them.
How so?
Yeah. It
was ugly. It was.
You can't give up 400 yards of rushing.
The data points. I mean, that's going to affect you if you're picking between teams. It's you won and you still only have 2 losses. But if you're on the outside looking in, man, they're gonna dissect that.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how Miami doesn't jump Utah this week.
Yeah.
We'll find out tonight, won't we? Little CFP rankings release. Wayne and I don't get to be outraged tonight in our bunkers.
I wasn't even outraged last week. It was kind of funny. I mean, other than Roddy, were you outraged by the Miami Notre Dame thing?
I was not outraged, and I have not been outraged the entire time.
I haven't really either.
Because Notre Dame, during that stretch of time since Notre Dame lost its last game, since the Texas A&M game, Notre Dame has won 9 straight games by double digits. During that time, Miami has lost to 2 teams. One was a Louisville team that once upon a time was ranked, but is now, 7-4, if I'm not mistaken, after an embarrassing loss to SMU, which is the other team that Miami lost to. So, at the end of the day, if you're Miami, I'm sorry. I agree. Head-to-head should matter. It absolutely should. But, the teams can't just be going completely different ways than you on head-to-head. And I am proud of the ACC for its pressure propaganda campaign on this thing. Yeah, they have done a great job with it.
Yep.
But at the same time, I did not think it was relevant up until now, and now we're getting close to it mattering.
Well, it goes back to if you're going to lose early. And remember when you're Notre Dame and you're playing a young quarterback and all. I told Steven right at the beginning, I know a lot of people said this, wasn't just me. I thought Notre Dame would run the table. Just from watching those early losses, you could see that they were still a lot of promise.
Yeah,
and they've just gotten better and better and better. So that's what's so crazy, because I've always liked the head-to-head argument because they played. But man, I've been a part of teams that played and lost early, where you look 8-9 weeks later and you're like, man, if we play those guys again, I think we'd take them. Like, and I don't know if you've ever been a part of anything like that, because in football you're supposed to get better, you're supposed to improve. Some teams do, some teams don't.
Don't slip up on the farm Saturday night. Don't even let Stanford hang around. Don't do it. Just saying, weird things happen on the farm. They got, it's Northern California. People smoking. You got all that stuff in the air. You got to be careful, man.
You get a contact buzz pretty
That's
quick.
what I'm saying. You got to be careful up there.
Hey, it's not Denver, but it's close.
You can't just warn people about everywhere. Like
yes, you can, Wayne.
I don't
or
think you
Roddy.
can.
Yes,
I
you
don't
can.
think-
One does not simply stroll into insert stadium, college town,
No,
geographic region.
I think there are some places where people just stroll in there. And
Justin Wilcox thought he was going to stroll in there last week. How'd that go?
Justin Wilcox didn't think he was
not
going to
even
stroll
close. No, he
anywhere.
didn't.
Like, this
No,
is
he
not a
didn't.
comparison.
Hey, I will
Good
tell
Lord.
my grandchildren that I was there when Justin Wilcox and Cal won their first ever road ACC game right down the street at a Legacy Federal Credit Union Truist Bank Field Stadium. I was there. And I'll tell my kids, my grandkids, that happened.
I'm sure
Anyway.
you will.
On to the next
sure
one.
you will.
What shoked you guys
All right.
from the weekend?
Wayne, you want to go? Whatever.
Well,
shocks you.
I'm just going to repeat it. I looked at the score. This is the Notre Dame game. I looked at the score, and what I saw C.J. Carr was 1 for 2. I saw that the running backs had 3 carries between them. One had 2 carries and one had 1 carry. And then I saw, and I looked up at the score, and I'm like, because I like C.J. Carr a lot, so I'm always looking to see what his stats are. I was working at the time, so I wasn't watching it, and it was 35-0. And I took a screenshot of it. I'm like, did ESPN's stat line? I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was literally like, there's no way this is possible. And then I started going down, and I saw the returns. I'm like, that was absolutely insanity. I would think you would have to look through history for a while before you found a box score that looked like that. It was unbelievable shocking. Yeah,
Without
and
touching
again,
the ball.
well, yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe 1 for 2.
Or without an offense.
When I looked at it, that's what I saw. And both running backs with 2 carries and 1 carries had 1 touchdown each. And then I looked for all the other. It was insane. So that was my shock. We already talked about it, but like, I was definitely like, wow.
I'll go quickly. I was pretty shocked that Penn State woke up 37-10 against Nebraska. Like, wow, where's that
Do you
been?
consider
Penn State?
Terry
Nice
Smith,
job.
Roddy? Do you consider
No,
him?
absolutely not. You don't fire James Franklin to go and hire his assistant.
Okay.
You don't do
All
that.
right.
I'm sorry.
Players want him.
Yeah, the players
They're
that won't be
holding
there
up signs.
next year, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Holding up signs of "I'm a free agent."
Everybody's a free
Virginia
agent.
Tech? Exactly.
Everybody's a free agent, Roddy.
No,
everybody.
You don't. I think that would be a big miss for Penn State.
How many players, Roddy Jones, will walk into the office, and I've heard many stories of this, that this is real, this happens, and will say, I'll stay, but I need a better deal.
Oh, a lot of
Everybody's a free agent every single year. It's the nightmare. It's the nightmare that I don't know if it's talked about enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to. It's insane.
And that's when you have to have real conversations about, okay, what have you done to earn that raise? Are you just threatening me?
Exactly.
You're just threatening me to threaten? Because let's look at your production. If you want to talk numbers, let's talk value. What am I getting for my money? Because for what you did, I can go get somebody cheaper. And if you want to dare me to do it, dare me to do it. Walk out the door and see what you get on the open market.
Here's the deal, Roddy. There are a whole bunch of people out there that have dated people in their lives because they're afraid that they'll never be able to find anybody else.
Exactly.
There's a
100%.
whole lot of teams out there that are going to overpay. There are players making good money right now that have had horrible seasons.
Yep.
That kills me. There are people that are retaining even the coaching thing. Like, people are giving people money out of fear that they won't be able to get anything better.
Yeah, that
Like,
Matt Rule contract ain't looking great right now.
Yeah, there's only so many teams out there that are sitting back saying, like, I'll use the dating thing, that are sitting at the bar, like you and me, Roddy Jones, back in our day, sitting at the bar, and there's there's like 6 more options that are better than you.
Wow.
Yeah, Like at some point,
And I'm confident enough to where I'm going to say no to this one and that one and that one and that one because that one down there on the end, that's the one I'm landing.
It's game theory. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna call your bluff. If you're gonna walk, good luck. I thought you liked it here. I thought your girl lived here. You're gonna go for an extra $100,000. Good luck. You're not worth it to me. Like, you are literally not worth it to me.
Yeah, it's confidence. That sounds like a confident. There's a lot of teams out there. I don't know if they have that kind of confidence.
Yeah. What's next?
All right. We moving on to the worst thing you saw. I'll save mine for last on the worst thing you saw. But Hartzell, do you want to?
Oh yeah, you're talking about looking at your phone, Wayne, and looking at scores that made you want to, quit life.
Vomit.
Pulling up the Tennessee-Florida score Saturday night and seeing it was 31-0 at halftime had me in my feels because that was happening at the same time that Pitt was up 28-0 on Georgia Tech. And I mean, I have an ACC team, I have an SEC team. Maybe I'm not allowed to have more than one team. Oh well, I guess I'll just I'll go walk off a pier or something. But the teams that I like to root for on Saturdays were getting shut out by a combined 59-0 at one point, and that had me a little on tilt.
How could Florida be bad with DJ Lagway? Come on, he was supposed to. He's Superman coming into the season.
I still maintain Tennessee is not the best college football team in that state, and that will be proven fact or fiction on Saturday afternoon.
Was JMU winning at that time during this period? They played early.
JMU had to sweat it out against the Cougs of Washington State.
Yeah.
Don't do
trying
that.
to line up the timelines.
Because that's going to turn Tennessee's loss into another good loss, and we're going to have 8-4 Tennessee. We gotta get them in.
Tennessee will probably be 15th this week. I mean, they just keep climbing up the polls.
How about the possibility that a 10-2 SEC team gets left out? Because that's where Vanderbilt's staring at. Like, they're not getting in if they beat Tennessee.
I'm aware they need help. Yeah,
I got a cigar at my house ready to fire it up. All right,
not the same as a 13-0 FSU being left out, but close.
Yes.
Unique circumstances there. But yes, you're correct.
Yeah. Teams overcoming adversity. All right, Roddy, what's the worst thing you saw?
Probably Syracuse. Like, that's the worst thing that I saw. I know we've talked about it, but it was the worst thing that I saw. It's uncompetitive. It's a team that won 10 games last year, and Fran Brown's all the rage. Like, what if Fran Brown goes to Penn State? Like, we need to chill on that because there's a lot of stuff there. And I don't know anything behind the scenes. I just think when you're as raw as Fran Brown is, like, it feels like that thing is a little shaky, I don't know. It's a hard place to win, but it shouldn't have cratered like it did.
They got a guy on the lacrosse team playing quarterback, man. I mean, that's not
exactly. And here's the thing, man, like, throughout, like, Ricky Collins was named the starter coming out of the spring, and then they go and they get Steve Angeli. They bring Ricky Collins to ACC kickoff, and you're like, is he gonna start? You didn't bring Angeli, so Ricky Collins must have been really, really bad. Why'd you name him the starter, first of all? Like, and why did you just go get Steve Angeli? You should have gone and gotten another guy too. Probably couldn't afford it, but like, you should have gotten another backup. You can't be left with a walk-on lacrosse player.
Yeah, don't hurt your lacrosse team. Like, is it still lacrosse season? Like, did they pick him off the team and it's still
lacrosse season starts in like February. Yeah,
he's a freshman too, so he might play for him.
Put some respect on Q Slacks. Put some respect on Q Slacks.
Gary Gates got those boys back. They're back up there.
Can't hold Duke, but whatever.
Give Roddy a reason to start talking ACC lacrosse.
Have you paid attention to Duke lacrosse in the last few years?
Yeah. No.
I know. They were really good coming out of COVID, but they have not been great since.
All right. Well, Wayne, you're not allowed to go back to the Syracuse well here.
No, I'm not going to. So I'll go totally different. Well, when I first got this, I was thinking, because I actually care about you guys, I was thinking about Virginia Tech because of Roddy, and I just felt bad. But really, that game meant more than we think, because remember, Coach Narduzzi kind of called it. He's like, I don't really care about Notre Dame. I just want to, which was a weird thing to say. But I think the Pitt win helps Notre Dame also, gives them another data point because now Pitt looks better. But that's not even my thing. My worst is, and I'm so glad it's coming to an end, is these SEC games that nobody cares about, because it kind of ruins the slate. This has the ability to be such a great weekend, and we had so many games in the SEC that, like, who cares? You're playing Samford. You're playing whoever.
Will it go away? I'm not convinced that I'm not.
It'll
convinced
go away
that
in
it will
November,
go away.
won't it?
Well, they're
Not
going to a
necessarily.
9-game conference schedule. So they're going to have to figure out a way to where are they going to put that. They may still put that game before their
Beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd like to see because, like you said, when everybody else is going down the home stretch in their conference play, and I know you know this, Roddy, when you have 2 or 3 weeks in a row against really good teams, you get beat up.
Which is
You're not.
that's why I'm not convinced that last weekend will not continue to be, at least in a lot of respects, kind of a bye week for the SEC. I'm not convinced of that.
They're going to figure out a way to put a bye late or to have one of their non-conference games be late because they are
do it
going
now.
to 9.
Yeah,
But they're going to 9.
But you can get rid of a game at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, then I mean, I don't. As long as they're still playing 9 conference games, because it is an advantage when you only play 4. I mean, we saw it early on with the ACC and are they going to go to 9 also?
Yeah, they are. Well,
yeah, it's a little bit more complicated
16,
because
16
of
of the
their
schools will have 9 and one will have 8. So
yeah, it's fine. But I like that they did that because when you have a bye basically before a rivalry game, it's a big deal. And I'll go back to Oregon and give you guys an example. Oregon ends their season with USC and Washington.
Yes.
I mean, that's tough.
Did you hear Dan Lanning at the podium? Did you hear what he said after the USC game? He said we didn't play Chattanooga State.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Thanks.
And again, he's right though. It matters. People that don't think that matters are crazy. It matters. When you can push around a team and not even play your guys and take. I mean, listen, Ohio State's kind of been doing it all year, where they've been kind of resting people and because of the way they've been winning. But man, there's a strategy to that because football's a pretty brutal sport. Teams get beat up, they get worn down, and so it's an advantage. So I am that to me is the worst. I don't like seeing those games late in the season like this.
Who did Oregon play in the non-conference?
Oklahoma
had an easy
State,
go. They had an easy go.
Montana State, and oh man, my Phil Steele's at home. You're calling me out here. I don't have my schedule.
But their ending schedule though was at Iowa, right? They just played SC. They're going to have Washington.
I think, and Oregon State was the other one. I do think it's a little funny when you play a schedule that's that in the non-con, and sure, Penn State doesn't look great, but like, I mean, it's not like they went through Murderers Row down the stretch. The last two are big ones, but like Minnesota, okay, sure. Going to Iowa,
yeah, but playing Arkansas and Kentucky, those are tough ones.
Well, I didn't say they were, but like, there's a lot less of Minnesotas in the SEC than there are, and I'm not talking Arkansas and Kentucky, but like Missouri, Mississippi. I would throw Mississippi State in there. How many teams have gone to Mississippi State and not had a great time? Vanderbilt.
You don't just stroll into Starkville. I've been telling you this for a while now.
There's like 10 teams out of Tennessee.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like
in
everybody
Minnesota
plays the world plays fairly soft non-conference early, and most of those teams they may play one real game and then a couple of easy ones, and then they get into their conference schedule. And again, we could argue about the differences in conferences all day. I just think that getting this game doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
late
fair.
in the season matters because it's late in the season. It's when you're beat up. Early in the season, you've still got a lot to go. Conference play is tough for all these. And it's all relative, right? If you're in the ACC or the Big 12, and we argue that it's not the Big 12, we haven't even talked about on this show. It feels like there's more parity in that conference every single year. So those teams have a hard time, and they play most of the teams. They have a hard time getting through that schedule unscathed.
But if you play, I think there's good and bad to both of it, because the SEC teams that play conference games early, week 1, week 2, when Oregon's playing, Montana State, you're putting a different thing at risk. Because look at Notre Dame. If you flip Notre Dame's schedule and you play Miami and Texas A&M the last 2 weeks of the year, is that better for them or worse for them? I'd argue that it's better. They'd have played Syracuse week 1, So do you do it while you're healthy, but you don't know who you are? You do it late. I think there's pluses and minuses to both. I'm not defending the SEC schools. I think it's more about the number of power conference teams that you play and where they fall. It's kind of 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other.
Okay.
Trip, what was the worst thing you saw from the weekend? Oh, wait, I'll play the sound. You better make this count, by the way.
The team of the 90s has fallen into disarray.
He's taking a drink of water. He's preparing
14
himself.
straight top 5 finishes. 3 national championships. A once proud program is now slipping away
Is he talking about
like
Nebraska in
sand
this?
through the hourglass of time. Welcome to
I'm
As
thinking
the
about
World
Charlie Ward.
Turns in Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, we're at Florida State. Okay.
Okay.
I knew that. Yeah.
This is a quick 13-part segment here for me. I'll fly through this. No, there's 3. So I just want to tell you about how I felt on Friday night. And I go back to this thing where this is one of the big talking heads. Like years ago, he was talking about Mark Sanchez, who's like, Mark Sanchez was the best quarterback in the country in high school. He goes to USC when things are humming at USC. It was kind of the death rattle there, right? They were still good when Sanchez was there. Has a good college career, gets picked top 10, goes to back-to-back AFC championship games because he's going to this loaded team. The Jets had a great defense, and they had brought in LaDainian Tomlinson. They had a couple of receivers. But what we remember Mark Sanchez for is the butt fumble play. He's like,
Now
that's
we
what
remember him for something else.
Well, that and the assault charge right now. But yes, go on.
He's like, even after that, there was this, there's a clip of him on a sideline where, you're warming up, you're throwing it to a guy and they throw it back to you. Somebody threw the ball back to him when he's not even looking, and the football hits Sanchez in the head. And he's just putting his hands up, can we do anything right? And that's how I felt Friday night when I got home from work to catch the end of the Florida State game. And I watched that ball ricochet off one of our guys' helmets. And NC State gets the ball back. And then we get another stop. And they have to punt it to us again. And we drop that one. Squirrel White drops that one. Can we just do anything right? It's just such...
The answer's no.
Hard time
the answer's
to
no.
be me right now. I don't mean to make it about me, but it kind of is about me. Here's another thing. Florida State plays in the Swamp this week. Florida State and Florida played 12 times in the 90s. Every single one of those games, that was a top 10 matchup. Shame on both of these programs for what they've let happen here. And the good news is Norvell's back, my boy. 7-16 over the last 2 years, 3-13. So we've now matched UConn's win total against the ACC over the last 2 seasons. So UConn can shut the hell up because we're right there tied with them now.
Jim Morrow's doing a hell of a job.
He is.
He's going to get a job.
Yeah.
Not in Hartford. So somewhere else he's going to get a job.
Hey, I wonder though, I do just want to put this out there. Maybe, Roddy, do you think there's a chance, and maybe I'm just trying to make the administration look somewhat reasonable, that maybe they had honed in on Lane Kiffin or somebody else, and Lane just said no.
No.
And when he said no, they were like, okay, maybe James Franklin doesn't float our boat as much as some people.
No.
Why would you not come out and say Norvell's coming back after the Stanford game when all hell's breaking? Why don't you just say it then?
Because you needed more time to decide.
Things haven't gone good since then.
Which is it doesn't have to do with what's going on the field. Florida State doesn't have the money to fire Mike Norvell.
Y'all broke, man.
It's not necessarily that they're broke. It's really expensive. It's $50-something million for his buyout. There's no, this isn't a James Franklin situation where he's going to get another job. Mike Norvell gets fired. He's not getting another P4 job. He's probably getting an offensive coordinator job. So you're probably on the hook. Even if the offsets hit, you're probably on the hook for $50 million. Then you got to fire his staff. He just signed 2 new coordinators that didn't come cheap. Those guys signed multi-year deals, and the rest of the staff multi-year deals. So you're having to fire everybody. I've heard it's $75 million for Norvell and the staff. Then you got to go out and find somebody, and you got to pay his buyout, and you got to pay his staff's buyout. You got to pay the relocation fees. So you're looking at close to $100 million all in. You don't got to be broke to not be able to afford $100 million.
Go broke in the 3 weeks since the Stanford game.
No,
just if you're not going to do it, just tell everybody you're not going to do it.
I feel like the reasonable people were probably like, let's see. Let's just see if we can A, raise the money, and B, what the temperature is of the big money people. And so if the big money people are like, yeah, bro, I'm not ponying that up. I'll do it for rev share. I'll do it for this. I'll do it for that. Like whatever. So there's something going on behind the scenes where the appetite was not there to fork over that amount of money, or they just weren't able to raise it. It's one of those two things, because I've got my concerns about Florida State going forward, but I think the notion that this was going to be based on results on the field is squarely. If that was the case, then they would have waited till after Florida, because like then you can say bowl game, we're firing them. If they miss a bowl, we're not. But I also think those decisions shouldn't be made on whether you're 5-6 or 5-7 and 6-6. Like it should be made based on a holistic approach. Everything that's going on in the program. There are some real issues with that program, but they're gonna re-up for another year.
Another guy decommitted yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's par for the course for Norvell.
Like, how are you gonna, if you're gonna try to? I don't know. It's just a horrible situation.
I got good news.
Hard for 2 years in a row, and now you're losing recruits every single week. And how are you going to recruit anybody new when they're looking at this situation saying, well, this guy's probably gone? Like, what are they just waiting another year so the payout's $10 million cheaper?
Trip, I have good news for you, man. I have good news for you. You ready? You sitting down?
Oh, we're beating you guys.
Duke basketball season has started. They're 7-0. They play Arkansas on Thanksgiving night. All right, so there's things are looking up in the Hurd household. Okay,
hey, listen. The reality is, and that there are going to be in this coaching carousel this year, there are going to be so many fan bases that are disappointed. Remember, the home run hire has been a guy that got fired. Like we're going to be looking to hire people. Like I don't know how many poaching jobs are going to be done, but there's going to be a lot of people. And the recruiting thing is weird too, because UCLA is still getting commitments. Like, I'm like, you have a staff that's probably going to be gone entirely, and you're still landing players that are decent players that are coming into the program. So the way this recruiting, committing, and decommitting and all that stuff, that's constant insanity. And anyway, just because you get a recruit doesn't mean he's even going to be there for a year.
Yeah, the safest thing for Florida State here lately has been, if you want to make sure a guy's not going to be a Seminole, just have him commit to you at some point.
Well,
they're not coming.
This coaching cycle is going to produce obviously fans that are upset, but it's going to produce a lot more Mike Norvell situations where you are displeased with what's going on, but it's cost prohibitive to fire him. Yep. Because why is it cost prohibitive to fire Mike Norvell? Because he had 13-0. He had a 13-0 season at the perfect time when Alabama came open. And so Florida State had to re-up. Florida State had to extend him, had to give him a massive buyout. And this is why when everybody says that, oh, we got to get coaching buyouts under control, and at some point administrations are going to stand up, coaches will not stand for it. They will not take jobs without these buyouts, because the only reason Mike Norvell is still employed by the State University of Florida is that $58 million buyout. So that thing is protecting the hell out of him. Which is why these coaches aren't going to back down from it. 2 more points on Florida State before we go. One, Mike Norvell has been at Florida State 6 years now. He has had 2 players that he has recruited, developed, and had drafted. 2 in 6 years. That's an issue. Now, he has developed other players that he inherited, he developed, got drafted, players that he brought in as young transfers, spent multiple years in the program and got drafted. But Florida State should not be that program. Florida State should be a program where you're able to recruit guys that are very good, you develop them, and you put them out as pros, like Ohio State, like Miami, like Georgia, like Alabama, like LSU. That's where Florida State should be. It has not been that under Mike Norvell. Secondly, Trip, you keep going back to the 90s, and I just want to let you know that you
Florida
going back
to the 90s. It's not Nebraska.
You going back to the 90s consistently as much as you are is like your parents in 1990s telling you about the team of the 50s. It is the same distance in time as in 1990. If your parents sat you down and were like, let me tell you about Army, the team of the 50s. Or
Was
you
Army
in
the team of the 50s?
I don't know. They were a really good team back then. Maybe it was, I don't know who it was. But or them sitting you down and telling you about how USC was the team of the 60s. Let me tell you about, this guy that like it is. I just want you to know how dated the 90s are from where we are now.
So when you
Thanks,
are the
Roddy.
team
Thanks.
of whatever decade, that means you got a good program. It means you shouldn't be where we are right now.
Dude, who was the team of the 70s? Pitt.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Pitt was the team of the 70s?
I have to.
national championships.
I
in the
wasn't
70s.
alive. I don't know, man.
Which is my point of you telling anybody Florida State was a team of the 90s.
As a guy that
It doesn't feel like that
played,
long ago, honestly.
as a guy that played in the 90s, I agree. It was a long time ago, man, and it's funny because the world was so different and the way things were done. We learned from Bobby Bowden. I remember my offensive coordinator watched those Charlie Ward teams and came back and said, we need to run vertically through windows. Like, it was a different world, and we did, and it was awesome. I remember how good Nebraska and Tommy Frazier was. But those are not just – when I watch classic sports now, they don't show the 90 games that much anymore. They show the early 2000s.
They show my games.
To the point.
ESPN,
right.
Like my games are on ESPN Classic.
I mean, they're still there, but it's again, it was a long time ago, and I will tell you this, coming from a school that had John Wooden, I've said this a million times, that was so long ago, and it's never happening again. It was a unique time in history. Things have changed so much. So when programs get stuck, and you keep bringing up the Bowden years at a place like Florida State, or even when Terry Donahue was at UCLA, that's 8 coaches ago.
Yeah, I think it's so unhelpful, man.
It's unhealthy because you're going back to the glory days, to the golden years, and you have to be able to do it in the modern era, which is so different. We don't have institutional coaches anymore. We don't have people like, other than Iowa, we just lost Franklin. I mean, coaches aren't around for decades anymore. It's just not gonna. It just seems like it's a new world.
Thing specifically to Florida State, and I would go with Miami with this. I would say this somewhat about Nebraska too, although Nebraska has different challenges. The way that program was built gave you a swagger that it continues. It permeates through that program now because they harken back to the 90s and Charlie Ward and all this stuff. Same thing with Miami. Oh, the U and all this, like the swagger they play with. The swagger has never left, but the work ethic and the talent has.
Right.
Because the coaches that succeeded Bobby Bowden, and they were a rotating cast of coaches through Miami anyway. But the coaches that have succeeded Bobby Bowden, Jimbo was able to do it. But after that, like Willie Taggart hasn't instituted that, like the work and the talent. Mike Norvell hasn't instituted that, the work and the talent. Like those teams were different. Look, I want you to, even the 13-0 team, like line up that team against Jimbo's best team. It is a night and day comparison talent wise. EJ Manuel's best team. Like look at how many first rounders were on that team.
Oh, they were loaded.
Exactly. And that the Derwin James, Jalen Ramsey team. Like, how many guys had long NFL careers? That Florida State team that we saw in 20, like, that was a good team. But the next year, they didn't, like, they were 2-10. There was never the crater after. Some of it's because how it was. But, like, it's a different era, the swagger, like, all of that.
And remember this, too. You add to this, like, and again, I'll use my own experiences. When I was playing at UCLA, coverage of sports was way more regional in the 90s. And so what happened was we were a top 10 recruiting class every year. When we went through the Aikman years and even into the 90s through Cade, we had elite. I had 6 All-Americans on my Rose Bowl team. 6. It's the most we've ever had at UCLA. We had top 10 draft picks. A couple of them. I had 2, a receiver and a defensive end, and Jameer Miller and J.J. Stokes. And we were pulling these guys in from all over the country, but also we recruited locally. You mentioned Nebraska. Nebraska had a niche back then. They got certain types of players that their problems are totally different now.
Developed walk-ons.
It's almost like they don't have an identity like they used to. Florida State used to get I'm telling you, man, they had. I don't care if you talk about Warwick Dunn. I don't care if you talk about Charlie Ward. I don't care if you talk about some of the defensive, just absolute beasts they had. But they had a regional stronghold, and they were also a national brand. But I agree, the game's changed so much.
Here's the other thing
couple
too.
Decades.
That's a challenge for Florida State recruiting wise, no matter who's the head coach. When Florida State was running roughshod over college football through the 90s, how good was Georgia?
Oh, they were down. They were down bad.
Correct. Steven knows.
Yep.
Like Georgia
Yep,
was
they
not
were down.
good. And Florida State has to own South Georgia recruiting. They have to. Because North Florida is like, okay, there's some pockets where it's good, but in order to get like really good players consistently, you have to go down towards Gainesville. You have to get towards Orlando. You have to go to Tampa. You have to go to Jacksonville, which are places that consistently put out good players. But like everybody recruits those places, and so the proximity wise, the place that you have to find the hidden gems is South Georgia. Those guys don't go to Florida State anymore. They go to Georgia now. Kirby Smart's done a phenomenal job down there. Mark Richt did a pretty good job down there. Like it started to dry up. They still got some, but it started to dry up. So Florida State had to go more national. You had to go to Tennessee to get a Jalen Ramsey. You had to go different places. And so that is also a challenge for Florida State. Like as recruiting has gotten more national, they have found it harder to go to Atlanta and pick players out because it's always been hard, but you only needed a few because you owned South Georgia. That doesn't happen. Charlie Ward's from Thomasville, Georgia. It's like 45 minutes from Tallahassee. It's like 5 hours from Athens. But that player now, I think, is much more apt to go to Georgia, make that 5-hour drive up with his family and go to Georgia than he is to go to a Florida State.
Yep.
So it's tremendous that we're talking about football in the 90s because this is a perfect segue into how I wanted to wrap up the show. We still have Rodstra coming up in a little bit. We have Rodstradamus. There will be picks, okay, I promise. But, gentlemen, it is rivalry week, okay? Wayne, you've been in the USC-UCLA rivalry. Roddy, you've been a part of Clean Old-Fashioned Hate. I want to get you guys talking a little bit before we get out of here about what this week means as alums, but also just as college football fans, because you can go down the list, man. Friday night, you got Territorial Cup. You got Iron Bowl on Saturday. We talked a little bit about Oregon, Washington. Michigan, Ohio State, obviously, just games. And so to help get you in that mindset, gentlemen, I went back. And Wayne, in the case of you, I had to go way back. You know how hard it is to convert reel-to-reel video into an MP3? You know how hard that is for me? You know how much time it took for me to find this clip? Wayne, close your eyes. I'm going to send you back in time. It's rivalry week. To help you talk about it, we have some audio.
Cook rolling, may run it in. Touchdown, UCLA. I haven't seen an official sign of you, but he's positive he scored. Wayne Cook runs it into the end zone, and the Bruins go 66 yards on a very fine drive to take, in 11 plays, the early lead.
You hear all the snap, crackle, and pop of that sound? I mean, that's literally me converting something from a reel-to-reel into an MP3. Wayne, do you know what year that audio is from?
1993. I just showed you a picture of that actual touchdown, and if you look closely, you can see John Robinson, the great John Robinson, hands on his knees, watching.
Ryan.
Man, we went out and just – there's a lot behind that game. I was coming off an injury.
I got you in your feels, didn't I?
I had internal bleeding. I had missed the game before because I got hit so hard against Washington State that I was urinating blood. It's true. I missed the Arizona State game and we lost. And we only scored 3 points. And I came back and played in that game. I was
and they ran you off the right side. You're pissing blood, and they ran. I mean, your running back was running through people on that drive. For God's sake!
First touchdown of that game was a naked boot. But by the end of that game, I could barely stand up. I was exhausted. I was tired. I couldn't even celebrate with the team. I was laying on the Gatorade table while everybody was singing the fight song. And we won that game, by the way, to go to the Rose Bowl. And we won it we got a big lead, and then they came back because that's how rivalry games are, right, Roddy? You just never know what you're going to get. And we had to make an interception at the end of the game in the end zone. in the end zone to win. And it was at the Coliseum, road game. Everybody goes crazy.
What was the score? What was the final score, Wayne?
26, 21,
27,
20, 27, 21.
Yep.
We made that interception, the great Marvin Goodwin, and we were running around the field with roses in our mouths and just being stupid. It was awesome. It was a great day. I threw 2 of the best passes I've ever thrown in my life in that game too, which is I had a fadeaway 3 with a Willie McGinnis running right at me, and I drop it back, and I dropped one in the corner to JJ, which is one of the best throws I've ever made in my life. And then I threw a corner to a post route to Kevin Jordan in that game late when we needed it, led to a field goal. Wrong foot moving up in the pocket. You know this, Roddy. It's funny. It's like certain games you remember everything, and that's one of them, man. I remember everything, and it wasn't all pretty.
Your shoulder pads were gigantic, dude. You look like a linebacker. I mean, they were gigantic.
Yeah, I ran like a center.
You look like that was.
Yeah.
That's how it was. The whole game is on YouTube.
What'd you do to your microphone, Roddy? I lost you there. Come on back. Come back to me.
You lost me?
Sorry.
I got sorry. The audio was playing. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Yes.
Oh, excellent. Sorry, I pulled up the game, which is on YouTube. The Coliseum is packed. I'm trying to see if I can find this touchdown. Look at Wayne rolling out left. That smooth stroke. Oh, number 4 just dropped the ball. Come on, man.
The whole game is on YouTube. Yes, the whole game is there, all 2 hours of it. I don't know who to give.
I had a moment in this game. I would say, I remember I started out hot, and then I missed 8 or 9 in a row. And there's a time where the announcer's and Cook has only hit 2 of his last 11 passes. But, man, 5 of them were dropped.
Look at Wayne. I'm putting this in the group chat.
He's a beautiful man. I mean, the hair, it's still on point. So, anyway, that's to help Wayne. That's to help you get into the rivalry mindset. Roddy?
Hey, I'm heading out. I know I'm heading out, too. I was asked to come talk to the team on Wednesday.
Good.
So I have to come up with some motivational stuff to get these guys fired up because, as Roddy knows, I always think that rivalry games, it sometimes I wonder if the fans, we talked about this earlier when we were talking about the 90s and old school fan bases. Sometimes I wonder if the fans understand the rivalry a lot more than the players, especially with so many players
100%.
moving around. I don't know if they feel the rivalry like they should. Even
in our situation, we had a lot of guys from out of state. I mean, most of our guys were from Georgia, but we had a lot of guys from out of state, and you had to sort of and they got we had a couple guys from California, and they were like, "Oh man, this is different." Yeah, a little bit.
That's funny.
Roddy, you want to go back in time? You want to go back?
Yeah, sure.
Well, we're going to anyway, okay? Because the kids don't know, Roddy. They see you on TV with the tie and the tie clip, and they're like, "Oh man, that's a good-looking dude. He's talking ball." They don't know. They don't know that this man was a certified killer back in 2008. Sound, please.
The Tech 46. Jackets by 3 with 7:30 to play in Athens. Nesbitt under center. Here's Josh, keeping it on the option. He'll pitch. Jones around the edge. Roddy Jones tiptoes, stays in bounds, still in bounds. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Georgia Tech. Roddy Jones around the right side, and he skates 53 yards into the east end zone.
How did he stay in bounds?
How did he stay in bounds?
He's Roddy. Come on.
Roddy Jones.
Oh, man. Poor tackling is the answer.
No, it's all leverage.
Wait for the stat line. Just wait for it.
On another crucial third down conversion.
Oh, Rashad Jones comes up and tries to shoulder Roddy Jones out of bounds, but Roddy lowers the shoulder and stays in bounds. Somehow it gets it to the end zone.
Roddy Jones has got 214 yards on 13 carries. And here is Blair.
That's
critical
awesome.
Point after. Spot down. Kick up. Good.
Good.
Dude,
that's Wes Durham.
14
Georgia
on
Tech Radio
13
Network.
carries. Do the math.
Yeah.
What is that per carry?
Bro, you could have gone into
you
your
know,
coach.
you know.
could have gone into that office and been
13
like,
something.
"I need an NIL bump, coach."
That's right.
So it's funny, man, because I was asked this question last week. I did an event with Champ Bailey, and we were asking about. Someone asked me about that game, and what did it mean to your life and everything. I was like, that game, that run that you just played, literally changed my life. That was the only game in my college career that I had over 100 yards rushing. The only one. So it's not like my college career was one that like it's gone down in the Georgia Tech history books. It's like, hey, this is one of our all-time greats. It was that game. It was that game that changed my life. And like in an NIL era, I had that game my freshman year. It was my redshirt freshman year. It was the last game of the regular season. So I played 3 more years after that. And in an NIL era, I was the most visible player on our teams. Not in 2009 because we had Jonathan Dwyer and Morgan Burnett and all that stuff. But after that, like I was probably the most visible guy on the team, the most known guy on the team for the next 2 years. And so, like, yeah, from an NIL standpoint, I probably would have been one of the higher paid guys. Now, I would have been one of the guys that people were yelling at, he's overpaid. He's only got 400 yards rushing this year. Where did it go? Like that's what it would have been. But it would have been completely different. That was a fun game though. Like we hadn't beaten Georgia in 7 years leading up to that game.
Wow.
It was in Athens. It was rainy. We were down 28-12 at halftime. We were down 16 points at halftime. It was cold. And we came back in the second half. First play of the second half, Jonathan Dwyer goes 65 yards for a touchdown. We then stop him, drive down, get a touchdown. Then they turn the ball over, or maybe the turnover was before. But we scored 3 straight touchdowns and took the lead like early in the third quarter, and they were shell shocked, and we were fired up, and we ended up winning the game, and it was awesome because they had a bunch of NFL guys on the other side. Rashad Jones was one of them.
Rashad Jones thought he was playing 2-hand touch that day. I don't know what.
Yeah, Rashad Jones ended up playing like 10 years in the league. Like Matt Stafford was their quarterback. AJ Green was at receiver. Muhammad Massaquoi, like Geno Atkins was on that team. Like Justin Houston was on that team. Asher Allen was on that team. Brittany Curran. Like they were low. What was the kid's name? The center. They had a center play for forever. But we won the game, and it was a ton of fun. It's the only time we beat them, which is that's a tough pill to swallow.
So, but when people talk about clean old-fashioned hate, when people talk about this week of the regular season, Wayne, and you got the crosstown, what is it, rivalry, crosstown showdown, whatever they call it, victory bell, the whole thing you guys are doing down there, it hits different, right? Like that's my point. Like it's that week.
Well, I think Roddy just said it. Like I could tell every time, no matter what comes up. I was the first quarterback at UCLA to go 2-0 as a starter. The quarterbacks have done that since then, but I was the first one to beat him twice as a starting quarterback. And then my class was the first one. I got a football right back there that says we're the first class to go 4-0.
Wow.
So I'd awesome, never lost to my rival. So that was great. Like, and so, but I don't think people realize, like Roddy said, you have that game for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
When you're around Georgia Tech people, and especially the diehards, they remember that game. I run into people all the time at UCLA that like, I watched every game you played in. They've been season ticket holders for that long. Even way back in the 90s, like they're still coming to games and they remember all that stuff. And people remember some of the bad stuff too, but the farther removed you get from it, they remember more of remember Roddy when you went for two whatever in that game against Georgia? Like people remember that stuff, and it's like it kind of lives with you forever. I think the players, I don't know if they realize that.
Yeah.
If you do something special in this game, it doesn't go away. It's a part of lore of the game. It's part of the history of the game.
And that's what I try and tell guys, without putting pressure on them. But I want you to know the magnitude of this. Like I thought I was going to have that game every single year against Georgia. Like I thought after my freshman year, like we're going to beat at Georgia every time. Like I'm going to ball out every time. And I had good games. I had some of my better games against Georgia, but we won one of them. For whatever reason, like some of it was the ball not bouncing our way. Most of it was not playing well. Some of it was the juju of the game. Like it just is what it is. Those games are different. But every single time you have the opportunity, like you have to, you got to leave it all out there because you never know what moment, what play. So the reason we got to that 3rd and 7 was because we got a first down and Josh Nesbitt, who was our quarterback, got the wind knocked out of him. And so Jabo Shaw, Jabo Shaw ends up coming into the game for 1st and 2nd down. First down was a little, was first down a pitch? I think first down was a pitch to me. And Jabo like barely gets the pitch off and it's way behind me. And I like grab it and spin and get like nothing on the play. And I'm like, oh God, like we are in trouble because that was a terrible pitch. Jabo was shook. Our coach thought too. So we handed the ball off on 2nd down to Dwyer. We got 3 yards. We're in a 3rd and 7. And like Wes says, we're up by 3. If we give them the ball back, like I think they just scored. We give them the ball back, like they're going down and they're scoring. So all I'm thinking is like, hey, if I get the ball, I just got to get the first down. And then you end up with that moment on a ball that shouldn't have been pitched. Like Nesbitt probably should have kept it.
Yeah, late pitch.
Because John Knox is playing in between. He's not moving his feet at all. Nesbitt should have attacked his upfield shoulder and probably hit it downhill. But we'd had so much success on the perimeter all day. He was just like, F it, let's kick it. Let's see what happens. And John Knox is the first guy that grabs me, the pitch man, which should never happen, which shows that like it probably shouldn't have been pitched. But that's how these things happen, man. Like you never know what game it's going to be. And it's the only game people remember of my career. Like they don't talk to me about the ACC championship game. They don't talk to me about any of it. It's that game against Georgia. And like Wayne said, like I just remember 9, 10, and 11. We got blown out in 11, but 9 and 10 were close games, heartbreakers, like literal, like those are the games that I think about the most in my career. But I can remember just about every Georgia Tech game since then. Like, and some of them before, not all of them. Yeah. Like the 1999 game, the 2007 game, but from like 08 on, like I could tell you details about every single one of them because they're just different, man.
And there's names that pop up when you start talking about them.
Oh yeah. Harrison Butker burst on the scene 2014 in Athens when Justin you get a good return. Everything had gone against Georgia Tech that game. You get a good return. Justin Thomas scrambles for like 35 yards, gets him in field goal range for a 54-yard kick by a freshman or sophomore Harrison Butker who drills it to send it to overtime, and then Hudson Mason throws an interception in overtime to seal the deal. To DJ White. Like that's there's the Quay Cersei run in 2016, and I'm sure Georgia fans have this. Todd Gurley in 2013 in triple overtime in Atlanta. Like that's what rivalry games do.
You mentioned 13-9 to UCLA when they took out Reggie Bush and company. Patrick Cowan gets killed by Ray Maualuga on the sidelines and pops up like he's got a spring on his back, and one of the most crazy games ever. But if you just mention
Ray was a good player.
Oh, golly! That whole team, if you remember those teams back then, they were loaded. But UCLA knocked him out of the national championship, and that's why I was kind of hopeful that SC was going to beat Oregon, even though I don't have a lot of hopes for this weekend. But like, you never know. Well, you just never know in a rivalry game. Like SC's good, but they're not unbeatable.
I think it's very cool hearing you guys talk about this. I will say, as a fan, because Tripp and I obviously did not play the game. One, interesting. 08 in Athens. I was at that game. I was there in the corner. I was doing local radio in Athens in 2008, and I was living off of Baxter at the top of the hill. I was going through a lot of stuff in my personal life. That is a separate story for a separate podcast, frankly. But I remember that game specifically, and now I'm here doing this show with you, Roddy, which is pretty interesting. So there's that. Also, it's the week of Thanksgiving. So fans remember, you get together, you eat turkey. Friday, there's games. Saturday, there's games. My dad was a Florida alum. His best friend was a Florida State alum. They had a bet every year where it was just $20. Winner got $20. So, Tripp, those games that you're referencing in the 90s when it was for a lot more than just, beating your rival, they actually got a $20 bill, encased in plastic, like you do an expensive basketball card or something, a screw down case, and it just kept going back and forth. That's awesome. We still have that $20 bill because my dad's friend passed away a couple years ago, and it's just those types of things that you remember, like Florida State on ABC, up in the mountains. You get 3 channels. Make sure the antennas are where they need to be so that you can watch the game at noon. You know what I mean? That's that. So it's different now, but it's not this week anyway. It's not that different. You still remember these rivalry games, even though some of them have gone away. So it's fun. It's cool.
And we talk about the ones that are close to us, but I'll always remember the kick six. I'll always remember Gravedigger. I'll always remember JT Barrett hitting the butt of an Ohio State offensive lineman and that being called short. I'll always remember even last year when Michigan beats Ohio State and Ohio State goes on to win the national championship. All of these games produce these moments that are just awesome. And as our sport has become more national, because Stanford's playing a conference game at Wake Forest or whatever, Cal is going to Rutgers is going to UCLA to play games. These games have never been more important. I said it when I did Backyard Brawl because that one's important. But these Thanksgiving Day games just mean something different to the sport. And I don't care how fan bases feel about them. They need to, or let me say, I don't care how we feel about conferences and expansion and all that stuff. These need to stay no matter what.
Well said. Wayne's got a tea time coming up here in a little bit. So, Rodstra, I need you to stay hot. We got games. By the way, where will you be this weekend? Where will you be for Week 14?
Oklahoma. We are at LSU, Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. The question has been posed.
10-point
Is
line.
Oklahoma good enough to win it all? And I swear, it's like
No.
I don't think they're as good enough on offense. But man, that defense is scary.
Salty. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, I probably would agree with you, but their defense has been the best in the country.
They're good enough to win a game or two.
Ohio State's probably
They're pretty darn
probably
Good enough to win a
better.
game or two in the CFP, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, if you look at how they beat out Alabama, absolutely. They
Tighten the
got outgained
screws.
by almost 200 yards against Alabama, and yet
Turnovers.
defense made enough plays.
Yeah.
Great
Yep.
turnovers.
That's what they do.
So we'll see. I was honestly really hoping for Vandy, Tennessee, but that game got bumped to.
Oh, yeah. Though I would love for you to get on the Vandy wagon at just the right time. That'd be spectacular. Have you been to Norman before, by the way?
Well,
Roddy?
we went to Norman a couple of years ago. I wanted
cool.
that game because it was going to be a great game. Like, that's going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of scoring. The over-under in our game is like 36.5, which is probably too many points.
There you
So,
Yo, LSU just won a game 13-10 against WKU, bro. So, yeah.
bro, and yes. So, I was hoping for the game of scoring and excitement and rivalry, but you get the historic.
It still just
LSU
means
Oklahoma
more.
game.
Just know that, though. It still just means more. Eyeballs. So it just means more. All right, so you're going to Norman. You won't be able to pick that game, just like Herb Street on game day. You don't pick the game that you're calling. But I'm looking at a slate. We got rivalry games. We got lines. There's value here, Rodstra. So with that, walk us through this Week 14 card. What you got for me?
All right. We're going to start on Friday because, of course, we are. Actually, that Thursday game is a little interesting. Navy Memphis. I'll go Navy plus the points in this one.
Is that our only Thanksgiving college game?
It is. It is our only one.
I'll be watching. Who are we kidding? I'll be watching. I don't
As
watch
will I.
NFL. Yeah.
As well.
Navy plus 5.5 at the Liberty Bowl. Okay.
Yep. I'll go Georgia minus the points.
What's
You
that
don't
going to be
like
like
that
at the Benz? That's going to be different, right?
Yeah, it'll be sterile.
Yeah. Agreed.
It'll be sterile. I think this is our only. The Georgia Tech fans have been pretty vocal about not having it happen again, and I think Georgia Tech understands that. But also, Georgia Tech fans need to realize we poor and we need the money, and so that's why that game is at the Benz. It's a money thing. The question is, what's the split going to be? And Mercedes-Benz is not a great stadium for like stadium-wide shots because it's the way it's lit. Like it is lit. The bowl is lit. I'm sorry, the field is lit. It's lit like a basketball arena. The field is lit, and they don't light the stands all that much. Like you can see, so it's going to be tough to tell. And the seats are red and black, so it's tough to tell. Unless Georgia Tech fans just show up in full force, how much Georgia is going to outnumber them by.
Get in price $181. So
it's supposed to be crowded. It's a cheaper ticket than the SEC championship game, so Georgia fans will go. So yeah. All right, give me Mississippi State plus points.
yes, let's root for chaos. Love that.
I don't think they're going to win, but I think they keep it close.
Okay.
A lot of teams have gone to Starkville and been slightly disappointed by what's gone on there with their performance. I'll go Texas A&M minus the points at Texas.
2.5 is what I'm seeing.
I see 2.5 as well.
Okay.
Saturday, Michigan plus the points.
Oh, we're doing that again?
Yeah,
What's
why
the
not?
number?
Michigan's
9.5.
been getting better.
Bryce Underwood had a nice game last week.
I made some comments about maybe Sharon Moore not being the guy there, but
Really?
what they've done with this team and the way they've brought Underwood along and the way they can run the ball. I mean, I think Michigan's done a good job this year.
Yeah, I think next year is a big year for Sharon Moore. Like
I think so too.
it's a year where he's got to show something.
It's
buy
hard,
some receivers, Michigan.
It's hard to win with a young quarterback. It really
Go
is.
buy some receivers.
You think it's the receivers problem?
I don't think he has elite pass
Who are the
catchers.
receivers on that national championship team?
It's fair, but you had like Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards and
Was it
J.J.
really the passing
McCarthy.
game that
Like you
mattered?
had, I don't know.
Until he got hurt, you had Justice Haynes this year. Like,
Yes, agreed.
do you have
but
eligibility left? I think he does.
Just go get like an elite tight end or something.
How
Get somebody.
hard it is to play quarterback as a freshman. It's hard.
Thank you.
It's really hard. You have to almost protect them.
Yeah. And they'll go get receivers but look at what happened with Penn State. Like Penn State went and got receivers, and what happened? The receiver that left Penn State, Trey Wallace, pretty good at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
We could spend another hour on Drew Aller too, and I feel bad because he got hurt. But there are quarterbacks out there that are coach killers.
I mean,
and like some guys just don't live up to expectations.
Like JJ McCarthy.
Well, as
right
a
now
pro,
in the NFL, he's struggling.
JJ McCarthy's got like the worst stat since Jamarcus Russell.
Apparently, if you drop back 20 times and spike the ball, your QBR would be like 32.
Yeah, but what did he do in college that made you
like
think
25?
What did he do in college to make you think that he was going to be an elite thrower? They didn't.
Won a natty.
He won the natty, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be an elite passer at the next level. They didn't play that way.
True. It's a great point. All right, let's go Pitt plus the points, 6.5.
Yeah. Okay. Love
It'll be
that.
real cold in Pittsburgh. I've had that one circled for a long time. Circled for a long time.
I had the weather for 35. Yeah, not great. Not great from South Florida.
I've heard from the person that's going to be on the sideline that the kickoff temperature is supposed to be in the 20s there at noon.
You don't
Pittsburgh.
You don't miss that life, Roddy. They got you up in the booth. I know y'all got heaters up there. I know y'all got all kinds of stuff.
My face didn't work last year at Penn State. It was so cold. We had heaters. It wasn't enough because we couldn't plug them in. The stadium was so old, like it was going to short circuit the entire booth if we plugged in another heater.
How about this, Roddy? I'm in the Big Ten now, right? And I didn't get a cold game all year.
Yeah, good for you, dude. We haven't had one either. I have not had to break out a jacket at all. It'll be cold in Norman, so I'll have to break it out. But yeah, it's a good life. You're living right.
I mean, you wear a jacket.
You'll be in Iowa in November soon in snow.
Yeah, soon.
What, do you wear a hat?
No.
Oh yeah,
No.
on the sideline. Yeah, you don't wear hats.
I don't wear no. Come on.
I used to wear a hat all the time.
People need to be able to spot me. I mean, I can be seen from outer space with his hair.
Can you wear a hat on TV?
No. Yeah. Yes, I could. On the sideline, definitely, and I could in the booth if it's cold enough. Yeah, I get.
You thought about that? You thought about what you might pull out, like fedora or something?
No, I just put on a beanie.
Yeah, beanie season.
It's the ears that need to be covered. Like the top of the head's fine. Like the ears. I've actually done the earmuff thing under my headset in the past when we've gone to places that are cold.
Pro move.
Yeah. All right. I feel like Louisville and Kentucky and Clemson and South Carolina are ones that I should dip into. I'll go Clemson plus the points at South Carolina.
Oh man. Okay. Noon SEC Network for that game, which we thought might be like one of the preseason games of the year.
CFP preview.
Not exactly.
Yeah. You know the game that I have to pick, and this is in solidarity with our struggling brethren. I'm going to go Boston College minus the points on the road at Syracuse.
Yeah.
That is a disgusting game. What's the number?
It's a short number. It's like 2.5.
3.5.
Oh, God.
You love it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, somebody's going to win. Yeah, God almighty. 3:00 on the CW. Enjoy that. Boston College minus 3.5. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. All right, give me Vandy plus the points.
Yes, I've converted you. I'm so proud of you, man. It only took the week of Thanksgiving, but you're finally seeing the light.
Why is Arkansas only a 2.5 point favorite a 2.5 point dog to Mizzou?
Dude, Arkansas loses all their games by 1 point, except for last week.
Yeah, they got blasted last week. I'll go Mizzou minus the points.
Final game for Eli in Columbia, even though this is in Fayetteville.
That man,
he's cashing in. He's going somewhere. He'd go to Penn State. He'd be a good hire at Penn State.
Interesting.
I'd take him at Florida. I would take him at Florida, honestly. Like, I would. I know we're not getting Lane. And yes, I just went on Florida.
I'll go Florida minus the points.
Oh.
1.5.
No.
You go Florida State plus the points?
What you're getting is an ass whooping this weekend, Hartzell.
Belt to ass, huh? Florida minus 1.5. That's so bad.
Serious question. Who is the more talented team? Wayne, I'll pose this to you. Florida at 3-8 or Florida State at 5-6?
God, I don't know. I think they're both underachievers with names that make them look better than they are. They're terrible. I go.
We beat Bama.
It's a true.
The 90s.
I don't
like
know.
NASCAR.
I mean,
We had our Super Bowl first game.
I'll feel like this is a little bit more of an ACC show, so I'll go FSU. But wow, is that a tough? That's a tough call.
Florida's the more talented team.
Roddy, what do we make of the
by a
Duke
wide
wake
margin.
line?
I was just looking at that.
That's fishy, isn't it?
No, it's not. Because if Duke doesn't turn the ball over, they'll win the game. But Duke will probably turn the ball over. I'll go Duke minus the points there. I'll go Duke.
Talking about a 10-win Wake Forest team.
Wally Wade.
They get this one. Win a bowl.
No, see the thing is, if they win this one and they're at 9-3, they'll go to a really good bowl and they'll play like a pretty good team and they'll get blasted.
You know what we talked about earlier this year, Roddy? You were at the SMU Miami game.
Yep.
And you talked about Rhett Lashley, and his name was floating around for Arkansas. What do you think about Jake Dickert? I mean, they just hired him. Maybe go ahead and start talking to him. Maybe.
I don't know. He just got there. I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think he's going to. He's got a family. I think there's other reasons that he wouldn't leave. I'll go Virginia Tech plus the points at Virginia.
What has it been, like 23 out of 24 or something?
23 out of 25.
God, amazing.
Virginia Tech is one.
Hey, Roddy, who's going to the? Is it complicated with 3-1 loss teams and Georgia Tech
No.
at 2? Like, is it not complicated? I haven't looked.
Virginia and SMU both have wins over Louisville. Pitt lost to Louisville. So if they all three end up tied, Pitt's left out. Virginia and SMU go. So winning, you're in for those two. Now, if two of those lose, then it gets really complicated. If two of Virginia, SMU, Pitt lose, then it gets really complicated.
Okay.
So there's a chance that Miami could be in that scenario, but some other stuff has to happen.
Does Georgia Tech have a chance?
They do, but a lot of stuff has to happen because if Georgia Tech loses the tiebreaker of conference opponents' win percentage, they lose that against most teams that they're going to be tied with. So it's a long shot.
Only one team blew out Wake Forest the whole season. It was crazy.
Only one thing what?
Only one team able to blow out Wake Forest all year. It's wild.
Yeah, when you can count your memorable games on two fingers, that's probably a problem.
Only team to blow out Wake, beat Alabama, not close.
2 fingers.
We're
The
climbing.
moratorium is in place.
Hey,
Trip.
We're climbing.
Let's do that's as many. It's you've got as many memorable moments as muffed punts in the NC State game. Congratulations!
The last 5 minutes.
Congratulations. Give me Auburn plus the points and UCLA plus the points.
Wow,
Let's
you're
go,
pandering.
Wayne.
You're pandering here.
go, Wayne.
I mean, you're just
Let's go,
Roddy's
Wayne.
like, give me a reason. Give
Come
me a
on.
reason to be interested in this game.
Come on.
Auburn plus 6.5. That game's going to get weird at night too. Ooh, and then UCLA's plus 21.5. A lot of value there. I don't know if that's enough. Honestly.
Still no clue who's going to play at quarterback. Nico got hurt again.
It's okay.
Don't
It's
feel
okay.
Hey,
bad.
but Luke's done a good job coming in. We'll see.
Okay. Last one. I will go NC State minus the points, getting Carolina.
Massive card for Rodstra. 16 games on the board.
Rivalry
the
week.
Largest,
Do we pick every rivalry game?
You didn't
I
pick
wanna
the
pick everyone.
Territorial Cup. You didn't pick the Territorial Cup,
Let's
and
pick
nor
it.
should you. It's okay. You don't have to pick
No,
everyone.
Let's pick it. Give me Arizona State plus the points. Let's go at
Hey,
home.
by the way,
By the way,
for all of the
Arizona's been
stuff
playing some good
Arizona
football.
They've been
State,
playing really good.
Arizona
Brent
State,
Brennan, pretty good coach.
all the stuff they've gone through this year. You know what their win total or team total for wins over under was 8.5 at the beginning of the season.
What is all the stuff that
Still
they've gone
got
through?
that.
Like Sam Levitt being hurt and Jeff Sims, like that experience? Is that all this? Or is there
Well,
other stuff?
Levitt, and then Tyson is a pretty good player. He missed
Jordan
a lot of
Tyson.
that
Yeah, he
season.
did.
I'm sorry, Rodstra, clarify. You want the Sun Devils or the Wildcats? In
I want the
Territorial
Sun
Cup?
Devils.
Arizona State plus 1.5. Okay,
Yes.
it's in.
That's a
it's in Tempe.
sneaky great game this weekend.
Great
Yeah.
game.
There's lots
Great
of them.
game.
Before we let you go, rapid fire around the horn. Favorite thing to eat for Thanksgiving? Lock Dizzle, you go first.
Just the really cheap Pepperidge Farm stuffing.
Underwhelming
Overcooked a little
answer.
bit, make it crispy.
Underwhelming answer. Rodstra, favorite thing to eat during Thanksgiving? It can be a main course, a side, or dessert.
I'd say my favorite thing is probably like when the ham and you have the ham right in the middle, and then you have the mac and cheese on one side touching the sweet potato casserole, and you take a bite of the ham and you get a little bit of the mac and cheese and the sweet potato casserole all in one, and then you scoop the broccoli and cheese casserole on the way to the mouth, and you just shove it in your mouth and you eat it. It's
So
delicious.
those bites where there's 5 different things in there at once. That's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
All
the
right,
overlap.
Wayne, favorite thing to eat for Thanksgiving, and I know this is tricky for you because Gavin Newsom won't let you cook turkeys because it's inhumane.
Shut up, dude.
Favorite thing to eat for Thanksgiving?
Since Roddy included multiple things, I'll just do everything that I can cover in gravy. So the turkey, the potatoes, and the stuffing, fantastic. And then give me a couple of rolls on the side, just with butter and jam, and I'm in. That's all I need.
It's a plant-based gravy, though, right? It's like
Dude,
kale is the main course in the gravy.
The way you
Isn't that-
stereotype California, you know that we have near 40 million people here that come from all over the country, all over the world.
Wayne's
Like we're
right.
not just one culture; we're every culture in California.
He's just mad that he lives in Winston-Salem where they sprinkle tobacco over your gravy. That you
Hey, it gives you a nice little buzz, though.
It'll be
You'll throw
the
up.
only,
Hey,
the only,
for 5
the only
minutes
thing to
and you're
drink is
focused.
cheer wine, and it's all slathered in barbecue sauce.
and just so you know, when I'm on the golf course today, it'll be 78 degrees and sunny.
Krispy Kreme donuts is
I
the
am
only
rooting
dessert
for
that
you,
Steven's
Wayne.
allowed to have.
I hope you go low. I hope you have 4 holes in one. Okay, I really do. I'm absolutely rooting for you,
I've only had
gentlemen.
one my whole life, but there
Thank you for today. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm thankful for all of you. It's just a lot of fun that we get to do this show. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Everybody out there for listening, thank you. Have a good Thanksgiving. Be safe on the roads or in the airports. It's a wild time of the year to be traveling. So we appreciate you guys listening. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's enjoy these games. We'll be back on Friday with Felder, who gets his own show because that man, he's just built different, quite frankly. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you real soon.